Hello. In this week's Torah portion, Toldot, a strange phrase is used to describe Rebekah's pregnancy with the twins, Esau and Jacob. Vayitrotzatzu habanim b'kirba. It's usually translated as, and the children struggled together within her. What does it mean? Our sages tell us that there are 4 levels of understanding of the Torah. Each level is deeper than the previous one. As you move below the top levels and reach for the deep ones, new meanings come to light. Even if you don't believe a story literally, you can understand it as a parable that provides valuable teachings. The 4 levels are, first, the pshat, surface, the plain meaning of the words. Then the remez, hint, the subtle meaning, only hinted at. Then the drash, inquiry, the derived, scholarly meaning. Finally, the sods, secret, the hidden, mystical meaning. The first letters of these 4 levels spell the Hebrew word pardes, meaning orchards. Indeed, a fruit is tasted on 4 levels. First, the simple tastes, experienced while eating. Then the subtle tastes, which stays after eating. Then the derived tastes, such as wine made from grapes. Finally, the deep tastes, the long-term memories associated with the experience, which French author and fellow Jew Marcel Proust told us so much about. Let's identify these 4 levels in our verse. First, the pshat. The literal meaning of the verb vayitrotzatzu is to crush or to oppress. This is the only place that word is found in the Torah. So the phrase means they crushed each other. This describes the relationship between Jacob and Esau, as later events would demonstrate. Second, the remez. The allegorical meaning is derived from the 3-letter root of the word vayitrotzatzu, resh tzadi tzadi. It's quite close to the word ratz, to run, and the word ratzah, to desire. Struggling, running, and desiring all imply great intensity. All are characteristics of Jews. Sociologist Joel Kopkin concluded that this is the part of our cultural DNA that has helped us survive the harsh environments we faced throughout the centuries. Third, the drash, the derived or scholarly meaning. It is that Esau and Jacob are the very incarnation of good and evil. In the Midrash, grown, idolatrous and bloodthirsty, while Jacob is equated with Jerusalem, vulnerable and spiritually pure. It suggests that our natures are determined in our mother's wombs, that we have no choice in the matter. It interprets the word struggled within her as follows. When Rebekah stood near synagogues or schools, the Batei HaMidrash of Shem and Ever, Jacob struggled to come out. It cites Jeremiah, quote, "Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you." This means that God knew Jacob's righteousness even in the womb. But when Rebekah passed idolatrous temples, Esau struggled to come out. It cites Psalm 58, quote, "The wicked are defiant even while in the womb." Indeed, the tension between idolatry and monotheism is played out in every generation of their descendants. Esau is forever trying to kill Jacob. Another view is that they quarreled about how to divide the world they would inherit. Finally, the sods, the hidden mystical meaning. It is found in the Zohar. Rebekah felt the struggle every person feels inside between good and evil, not just between Jacob and Esau, but between every one of us. The Midrash says that both parts should be combined to serve God, that both parts are necessary. When the Torah says, quote, "And God saw everything that he has made, and behold, it was very good, tov me'od," this is the first time that God added very to good. What was added at the end to make it very good? The sages answer, the evil inclination. Quote, Nachman says in Rav Shmuel's name, "And behold, it was very good," refers to the evil inclination. Can then the evil inclination be very good? That would be extraordinary. Yes, because without the evil inclination, no man would build a house, take a wife, beget a family, and engage in work. So said King Solomon in Ecclesiastes, quote, "And I saw that all labor and all achievement in work was the result of man's envy and rivalry with his neighbor." The Talmud adds that when we say in the Ve'ahavta, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your hearts," bechol levavcha, it means that we must love God with both our inclinations, the inclination to do good and the inclination to do evil. Thus, even though we feel divided, we struggle, we run, we desire, our goal is always to grow into a single, wholesome unit. The sods, or hidden meaning of the Torah, has a long history. The Talmud tells of 4 influential rabbis who dabbled in mysticism and entered Pardes. One died, one became mad, one left Judaism, and only one emerged whole. This is dangerous stuff. Gematria, or Jewish numerology, is part of the Sod and very popular in Kabbalistic literature. It consists of adding up the numerical values of each Hebrew letter in the Torah, in a Torah phrase, and drawing conclusions from that total. For example, Jacob tells his sons, "Go down to Egypt." Go down is redu, which adds up to 210. And sure enough, the Israelites stayed in Egypt for 210 years. How many interpretations are there? 2 Jews, 3 opinions? No, 8. The Maharsha tells us that there are 600,000 ways to understand each of the 4 levels, one for each of the Jewish men present at Sinai. Here's another example of the 4 levels. The Torah begins as follows. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The pshat is that there is a God and that he created everything. For the Remez, Rashi explains that in the book of Proverbs, the Torah is called the beginning, Reshit. And in the book of Jeremiah, Israel is called the beginning. So the verse means God created the heavens and the earth for the sake of the Torah and the Jewish people. The Vilna Gaon explains that all 613 commandments are hinted at in the first words, Bereshit. For example, Pidyon HaBen, or the redemption of the firstborn, is in the acronym of the letters of Bereshit. Ben Rishon Acharei Shloshim Yom Tifdeh. The first son we shall redeem after 30 days. For the Drash, the Midrash asks, why does the Torah begin with the letter Bet? It answers, because Bet is closed on 3 sides and open only on the 4th. This means that one may not ask what came before the Torah, what is above the Torah, what is below the Torah. One must worry only about the Torah itself. The Torah also closes with a lamet, which looks like a barrier, meaning do not ask what will come after the Torah. The Sod is found in the Zohar. Quote, Bereshit is the key by which everything is hidden, as it locks and unlocks. With this key, 6 gates are locked and unlocked. So when it locks those gates and includes them within itself, then it is for sure Bereshit, a revealed word that includes within it a concealed word. Bara, wherever it appears, is a word that hides and guards a secret, locks it up, and it does not unlock it. Is the plain meaning ever correct? Yes. The 4 meanings coexist and are complementary. You can't pick just the one you like. In particular, the Talmud says that the plain meaning, the pshat of the Torah, never loses its value when other interpretations are put forth. Quotes, En mikra yotze midei peshuto. A verse does not depart from its literal meaning. This point is emphasized by commentators. Rashi writes, no scriptural verse can lose its literal meaning. Rabbi Albo writes, no one has the power to abolish the literal meaning of the commandments by interpretation. But one could point to a counterexample. The Torah teaches the law of retaliation. Quote, a fracture for a fracture, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Just as he inflicted an injury upon a person, so it shall be given to him. End of quote. The Talmud makes a convincing argument that it should be interpreted only as financial compensation. Indeed, there's no record of Jews ever applying the injunction literally. How do we reconcile the two teachings? By saying that financial compensation is the pshat, and that the popular understanding is not an interpretation at all? The Rambam argues that the Torah only talks about what the perpetrator deserves, not what the actual punishment should be. Quote, it does not mean to inflict injury on this man as he did on the other, but that the offender fittingly deserves to be deprived of a limb or wounded the same way as he did. If so, why does this approach not apply to all commandments, all punishments? Elsewhere, the Rambam adds mysteriously, you must not raise an objection to our practice of imposing a fine in such cases. Here we propose only to give the reason for the precepts mentioned in the Torah, and not for what is stated in the Talmud. I have, however, an explanation for the interpretation given in the Talmud, but it will be communicated only by word of mouth. Okay. In conclusion, new meanings of Torah can always be found. But by going further and further from the plain meaning, can we make up just about anything? Are 4 levels the limit, or can we dig even deeper? We might end up with nonsense, or anything at all. Can anything be interpreted to mean anything with enough imagination? Can anything be derived from anything? It's a dangerous process that needs stringent rules. Food for thoughts. Shabbat shalom.